Are you tired of writing boilerplate code to call another microservice? What if I told you there is a simple way to call REST API just like calling a Java method? In this video, I will show you how to use FeignClient in a Spring Boot with real-world example. By end of this session, you will be able to set up microservice to microservice communication in just a minutes. So hello guys, welcome to the FeignClient tutorials. So now imagine this. You are building a microservices based system for an e-commerce app. Your product service needs to fetch list of orders from the order service. Sounds easy, right? But then you implement it using REST template. Suddenly you are writing way more code than expected. So these are the issues with REST template. You have to manually create HTTP request. You have to build URLs with parameters, handling exceptions manually, parsing the response, writing duplicate boilerplate code everywhere. Now multiply that by 10 or 15 microservices. What started as a clean architecture now turns into a mess. And one day, a developer forgets to set timeout. The whole service hangs in production. This is exactly why we use FeignClient. It lets you call another service's REST API just like a regular Java method. Clean, simple and powerful. So in today's video, I will show you how to set up FeignClient in Spring Boot with a complete real-time example. So let's proceed with the FeignClient implementation in Spring Boot. So here are the topics which I will be covering in today's video. So first is introduction, second is core architecture, third is request flow, and last one is implementation. So next, going to introduction. So what is FeignClient? FeignClient is nothing but it is a part of a Spring Cloud ecosystem and helps one microservice call another microservice's REST API using simple Java method calls without writing any boilerplate code like REST template. So in this introduction part, we will understand about declarative, clean and readable, and integrated. So declarative is nothing but with Fin you don't need to write any HTTP code yourself. You simply declare what you want to call by creating a Java interface, and Fin takes care of how. Clean and readable. So your business logic stays clean, no more cluttered code with HTTP calls. You just inject the interface and call the method like any other service. Integrated is nothing but Fin works smoothly with other Spring Cloud features like service discovery, Eureka, load balancing, circuit breakers like Resilient Force or Hystrix. Your microservice is not just simple, they are resilient and cloud native. Now we will understand core architecture. So in this core architecture, we have one like order service and one product service. So what overall here in order services, we have one controller or service layer. Then we will define one like a Fin client interface. This interface implementation will be provided by Spring Boot, that is Fin proxy. And this is the load balancer or service discovery. If we will add, then that's fine. Or else directly we can invoke product service. So in product service, what will be there? Only REST controller for now. So what order service will do? It will execute get call to get all the list of product via Fin client. So see, controller service, your application business logic. This is where need external data originates trigger a call to the Fin client interface. This Fin client interface and then Fin proxy, then load balancer, service discovery, and then REST controller of this one. So now we will understand about the request flow. In this request flow, we have these things: method call, proxy interception, load balancing, HTTP request, provider processing, response decoding, and return value. So method call. Your code calls a method on the product client interface, example get product by ID. Then proxy interception. The call is intercepted by the dynamic proxy, which will be created by Spring Boot, which begins building an HTTP request based on your annotations. Whatever the annotations we will be providing, like at the red FeignClient, and the details in the interface. Based on those details, HTTP request will be created. Then load balancing, that I already mentioned, like if we will use this load balancing, then that's fine, or else we can ignore this. HTTP request. So Feign sends a constructed HTTP request to the network address of the selected provider instance. Then provider processing. The product controller in the provider service receives, process the request and return a response. That response will be like once this Feign order service will receive the response, it will be deserialize the JSON response into a Java object. Then whatever the deserialized object, Java object, it will be returned to the original calling code. So our network call is completed now. So this is the overall request flow of FeignClient, how it works internally. So now we will understand how the implementation is done for this FeignClient. So for this, we have two services: product service, which is as a provider, and consumer service, which will consume the data from product service. To create the product service, this is the dependency we have to add, and this is the product detail DTO, and this controller, simple controller we have to add, and the properties like the application name and the port where the application will run. For consumer, this order service, we have to add two dependencies. One is web, another is OpenFin, and we have to add this annotation, enable Fin clients. This annotation we have to add, and this interface we have to add. That will trigger this URL, whatever the URL we will be adding, like for the product service. So let's go to the implementation. So here we have order service and product service. So first we will understand product service. So in this product service, you can see I have created all these things before to save the time. So here in this product service, we have created one controller and one DTO. That's it. So in this what we are doing is we have kept an request mapping like products, and then this ID is there. So this products will be by default like for this one, and this ID will be by default for this one. Okay. So this one, get all products. Here what we are doing is a list of product. I have created a dummy two products. One is like product ID and sample product name, and the second product is two is as ID and dummy product as name. And for here, like by ID, we are returning these two products based on the ID check. So if the request ID is 1, then we are returning the sample product and with the ID, whatever they are sending. And if it is 2, then 2 dummy product and returning blank for nothing. Like if apart from this 2 request will be coming, we are returning empty object. So this is overall products. Now coming to order service. So in order service, what we have created one client, one controller, and DTO. Okay. So here for product client, we have added two endpoints, like two methods in this interface. One is get all products and one is get product by ID. Whatever the methods we had written there to retrieve the data in product service. So here mapping is done through we have added one annotation, this at the red fin client and the name of the product. So right now this name is the for that service, whatever we have created here, product service, and the URL is nothing but on which the port and the URL this the service is started up and running. So that is the URL. We have to set up this URL in the properties application.properties. This is the URL. Okay, and same like port and name we have to configure for this current application. So let's see here. So to access this one, we have created one like order controller here orders. So in orders, what we are doing is we are getting all the list. So what here we are doing? Here we are just calling a normal method. It is not like any REST API or something. Just we are calling one REST normal method, normal Java method. If you will go inside this, what you will find, it is coming to here. So at the runtime, this implementation is getting generated by Spring. So how this get mapping, so HTTP get will be there, and what will be the returning, like we have to map the response as a product DTO. This URL needs to be called. So all these things is designed by Spring. Same for this one. And to set up this, we have to add one dependency. This is the dependency we have to add, OpenFin. So that's how this order service is set up. Now we will start these two services and we will check like how it works, how we are getting the responses over the UI. So first I will start this product service. So you can see it is started on 8081 port. Now we will start this order service. So this is started on 8082. Here you can see in application.properties 8081. Which port is this? Port is the 8081 product port. Product port is 8081. Now which is the consumer and which is the producer? So here you can see provider. Product service is provider, consumer is order service. So for consumer, we will be calling this endpoint. So this FeignClient we will call through that order controller, right? So let's see. This order controller is there. We will call this orders and order ID. So for this we have just created Swagger UI. So 8082. Here we can see orders and order ID. So first we will test this one. So will this execute? Here we can see 1 and 2. Sample product, dummy product, right? Now we will add the filter here like for the get. So suppose I am calling this one by 1. So what we got? Sample product, right? Then 2. What we got? Dummy product. Suppose if we will add something else. Suppose if we will add something else like 4 or something. What we are getting? Empty object, right? So here we can understand like what we are calling. We are just calling one normal Java method which we calling through the interface, and that interface is implemented by a Spring Boot. So how easy it is, you can see just normal method we have to declare and all these things will be done by Spring Boot. You don't need to configure like get mapping, like how what will be the HTTP method, what will be the response mapping, how you are converting all these things. You don't need to write manually. URL configuration on all those. You don't need to write it manually. Just it is as is. And that's how easy it is to replace boilerplate REST template code with clean and efficient FinClient. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to ShivaTube for more real world Java and Spring Boot tutorials. Thanks for watching this video.